So I'll just give an overview.
Jump in.
How we got.
I'm going to add here and there.
Sure. Yeah, it's obviously very informal. It's not just whatever. Ann Quinn, who teaches environmental science, and I, who teach physics and astronomy. We started teaching a civic and community engagement course. Are you familiar with that?
No, I am not.
I hadn't heard of it until this summer.
Okay.
So I'm very curious about it because that's something that would go well into administration of justice.
Okay.
Maybe.
A few years ago, the university started an all-college minor called Civic and Community Engagement, and so it doesn't belong to any particular college. And so it was administered through Jeremy Cohen with an undergraduate, whatever that is, the undergraduate department. I have division of undergraduates. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So they had basically, so it's a minor that's set up. There's a foundation course, which is the Civic Community Engagement 211, and then there are courses that students take. And they're related. They could be social sciences, political science, psychology, and then they do a one course or at least one internship, which has field experience, and then they do their capstone course, which is they propose a project and civic and community engagement. It gets approved by the committee at the college, whatever college they happen to be at. We have a committee. And we read those proposals, we approve them, or we say, well, maybe you should do this instead, or approve this. Then they do the project, they send us a report, and when they finish the capstone project, then they have their civic and community engagement minor. So it's very flexible. We've had students in political science, students in psychology, students in engineering, and all kinds of different areas do this minor. But we actually have more students not do the minor, just take the first course. Not every student decides to do the minor. Just in the past year, there's leadership and sustainability minor got started, and that actually follows the same format, except it's leadership and sustainability. But when you look on in the blue book, when you look at the undergraduate bulletin under minors, what you'll see is that they're set up. Those two minors, they're both all college minors. They're set up almost identical. How do you do it? How does a student do it?
So the Commonwealth campuses can do this minor.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Yeah. Well, or both of them. Yeah, there's no problem. Basically, what you need is probably a couple of faculty members to have the committee to approve the capstone projects. And that's about all you need. So, since in the past year, Penn State just started, I think it's only been offered last year, the Leadership and Sustainability 200 course, and that minor got started, and then we decided that we wanted to also start that. And the easiest way to do it was as a pilot program. We actually put the two courses together for this fall. So since we already have an existing course that we had approval for and resources for, we decided to put the two together because it kind of fit because the topic that we have chosen, we want to get, in civic and community engagement, we want to get students actively involved in the community. And the topic that we have been using the past few years, although it doesn't have to be this topic, has been the Great Lakes environment. And so that fit in with sustainability, so it wasn't really a big stretch to say, well, a student can be doing either course. So, students work in groups of 2 or 3. Their main project for the course is to come up with an activity to teach students, high school or middle school students in the city of Erie about an environmental issue and what they can do about it. And we work with PEP, which is the Penn State Educational Partnership Program, which works with the city school district and runs an after-school program for students in the city schools that are considered at risk for, let's say, they're good students, but maybe they're at risk for not thinking about college or not going to college because economic, social background, whatever. So, so they have it's been going on for over 20 years, and it's been very successful. And so we've kind of tapped into that one of the primary parts of that is that high school and middle school students get to see college students and say, I can be that. So it's mostly to get the college students and the high school and middle school students interacting with each other. So that's a big part of how PEP works. They could be mentoring homework after school. They hire college students to be tutors, and we volunteer our students to come in and present their activities, their after-school activities. So we work at right now we work at Central High School in the city of Erie, and basically the groups of 2 or 3 students in our class, they pick an environmental issue, and I'll show you some pictures. What they do is they develop an after-school activity, and then several times towards the end of the semester, this shows this is kind of a mix of some of our students and some of the high school students from the Central High School, and each group has picked a different topic. Let's see, pick out which ones are which here. Let's see. So these guys are working on alternate energy. They're making a water wheel. And then these guys are doing a watershed and how different materials get into the watershed. And they make games about, I think if I remember right.
It was like Jeopardy.
Yeah, they made like a Jeopardy game about an environmental issue. These guys were doing Lake Erie, made a game about different things you can do in Lake Erie, different activities, whether it was fishing or transportation.
Waits for dumping.
This was a project on personal care and pharmaceutical products and how they get into the watershed. And these guys were doing, I think it was, one group was doing recycling. And this is the water wheel. Making it work. And this is recycling, kind of sorting through which materials can be recycled and different types of the plastics and what the little numbers mean on the plastic bottles. This is a little model watershed that they used. And so they had put different kind of food color dyes in different places and see where it ends up in the watershed. So to kind of expand that, Nick was very gracious to come down and help us, and he's good. You're coming again this week. And we figured for a number of reasons. One thing we have been thinking of is that we wanted something to carry over. Like the students come up with these activities, and they do them, and they're very good, but can we kind of sustain or make use of that in the future? So one of what we introduced this semester for the first time was that we are having the students make a video about their environmental issue. Mm-hmm. And it's basically would be, what's the environmental issue about the Great Lakes environment? What can people do about it? And so they've been working on that. Nick came and showed them about the resources of the Navy Commons and how to make a video, and they've come back and they've made their kind of rough. There are different stages.
Yes.
Some are more complete than
others.
Some are
more rough than others.
some are very rough, and some are not. And so that's kind of where Ann and I fit into this.
Yeah, and I guess where I kind of came into the picture. So we started working early this summer with the Center for Sustainability on Faculty Fellowship Project. So every summer we'll accept 1 or 2 faculty fellows projects at Education Technology Services, which is sort of the alphabet soup stop right above Media Commons. And the purpose of the project is basically to devote our resources and some of our tech know-how to developing a project the faculty would not necessarily have been able to accomplish over the summer without those resources. So the project that we were doing was with Susanna Barsom, who had offered the Sustainability 200 course here as a pilot. And then she wanted to create an online resource that kind of pulled all the information together for instructors who are thinking about teaching this across the state. as well as provide information about the minor itself, as well as providing information about how to process a course like SIVCOM, and provide examples of assignments that could be done, readings, and things like that. Did you come down for the workshop?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, so on one of the days over the summer, then we had like a big get together, faculty, staff, CFS people, people from ETS, everyone got together and talked about what this Sustainability 200 course would look like, what like its basic principles would be. That way it could be flexible, but it would also ensure that every course that was taught was covering the same topics. The students were getting the same sort of takeaway education out of it, and really focusing on the leadership aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And in that, we sat and did like some breakout sessions, and I got partnered up with Anne, who is not here, but you can almost feel her energy from here. She's a whirlwind. And so we got to talking about the project that you guys have been doing in the past, and how we could possibly turn that into a media project of some sort, as opposed to just sort of a one-off, live in the classroom thing. How can we make this something that lives on after the students have moved on to the next classes they're taking? And so that's how we came up with the idea of doing sort of a small documentary-style film about an issue. There's also a call to action component in it, since students are not only supposed to identify an environmental issue or work that's being done towards sustainability at the campus or in the community, but also identify how you can get involved. And so that's sort of where media comments get mixed up in all of this. And as Jonathan said, we're going to be doing this coming week a review session with the students. So sort of like I've been doing with the students online, we're going to be sitting in the room, doing film screenings, and then hopefully positive, constructive criticism from everyone about the projects.
Like I said, what's really nice about this for us is that we've always wanted to try to figure out a way to carry this on. That they've done these projects, they've made these activities. So now if we have a video with it and we can attach their lesson plans that we come up with to the videos, and it gives it more like, okay, somebody will say, oh, that's pretty interesting or whatever. Make it more that it can propagate. And that's kind of one of the goals, is to propagate this education and awareness.
Right, and I can see these resources. I mean, these videos will be going up onto YouTube in a single class channel, just like you're doing. And I can see them becoming a great resource for other instructors as well at the university, as the Sustainability 200 course kind of gets some more traction, picks up in other locations. There's already a video module that they can point the students to about watersheds. That's one less thing to have to develop, and it's actually been put together by Penn State people. It's specific to the state.
Students.
Exactly.
What can students do?
So it's been a really fun adventure so far. The students seem really enthusiastic about doing it. And you guys also provide some really great opportunities for them.
They've taken a lot. What's nice about it is that with those little portable cameras, like in Erie, there's a research vessel called the Environaut, and we go out on the bay, and don't tell risk management. We go.
They're not watching it now, I'm sure.
Delete! Oops! Sorry, Nick!
You are a lawyer.
So anyway, different things like International Coastal Cleanup and going out on the Environaut, and we're going to a lead building in Erie, the Erie Art Museum, and they've been bringing the cameras and taking video. And so it's not, so they can be out on a boat on the bay and taking videos of some of the issues that they're Yes, yes,
I'm sure
that's really cool.
Yeah.
One student's been filming everything.
That's what we love.
Yeah, and it's kind of good working in the small groups, because we have people that are very, very comfortable making videos and editing, and other people have never done it, and you could tell they were a little bit more anxious about it as being part of their grade, but that's been kind of working in small groups is kind of taking that edge off.
But I think too, one goal that Anne had expressed to me, and I don't know if she maybe told you this or not, she's hoping that maybe we can cultivate like a small group of students that are really comfortable producing media to then help produce other sustainability videos on campus. So sort of like a little production crew that can then be there, and they're interested in the topic, and they also have the skills to go out and do this. So fingers crossed, we'll get a couple.
Yeah, because there is the Greener Baron or Greener Baron student group, and so you have a base there to start from.
Right. Right.
So
yeah, that's the SUS 200 story.
Very interesting. Now, is it always environmental focus?
it
Or
doesn't.
is other civil, because I do, of course,
Right.
administration of justice, there's a lot of social problems.
We do it. We picked it because Anne's an environmental scientist and I'm in science.
Yeah.
so we picked it issue
Mhm.
because that's what we're kind of in our comfort zone.
Mhm.
However, we do have students, and I've talked to students, and they are more interested in kind of social issues. And I say, well, here's the thing: just do this as your foundation course. The SIPCOM 211 is your foundation course, and then when you choose your courses and for the minor, and when you do your field experience, and when you do your capstone project, you can choose to do whatever, a social problem, social issue. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, we definitely tell them we're just picking this because this is what we're good at, maybe, and so we're just using this as an example. And of course, what we do is we also tie in all the. What's neat about the course is it ties in. We bring in psychologists and other social scientists, and they talk about the other aspects of, environmental issues tie into all the social issues too. But that's we just happen to pick that. Other people who teach CivCom, they do totally different things than what we do. And it worked out for sustainability because that was overlapping.
I think by getting the students out there and asking them to go talk to people in the community while they're doing these projects is really, really good because it's going to really drive home to them the interconnectedness of all of this stuff. They'll go out there and they'll talk to someone about the environmental implications of more public transportation.
Yes.
And they'll find out, but this also makes it easier for people to get to jobs and to get to healthcare and all the things that go with that.
One of the neatest things about the course is if students we have a lot of freshmen, but then we have a lot of students who are like maybe juniors and seniors who also take it. One of the coolest things I've ever found about the course is that students will come and say, now I know why I'm a political science major. Or I'm beginning, they say, oh, now I know why I'm a history major. Because they see how it relates and how you can bring that discipline and because civic and community engagement is really about what are effective skills of citizens to bring about change. And whatever that issue is, here's a set of skills that you can use. And they start to see, oh, it's not, political science is like, okay, now I have this discipline, but now this is how I actually can use it to make change. So that part of the course is really one of the most positive parts of the course, which keeps Anne and I doing it even though we're not.
Well, that sounds quite exciting, and actually that's the exciting part for me. Because one of the things I added to this assignment was the event from my PSA, they have to go find local resources.
Right.
So if they're bringing up the idea of child abuse, what are your local resources? If you are abusing a child, where are you going to go? If you're an abused child, where do you go? If you suspect an abused child, where should you go? So that's one of the things that I ended up adding this time is now every one of them at the end should have something tying back to the local.
Right. And I think too, that's really useful in that they can get out there and find out, I want to stay in this region. What sorts of things can I be doing in this region? What sorts of employers are out there? And they get used to like going and interviewing someone, which helps them then get ready for an interview. So it's kind of like a good professional development aspect.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.